Okay, good day, my dear students. Today we're gonna discuss about the Module 5 of the RPH, which is the Cavite Mutiny. So, for that, what is your perspective about Cavite Mutiny? What does Ano bang nangyari dito? Ah, okay, thank you about sa pagbitay sa tatlong paring martir, which is also known as Kumbursa. Okay. But now let's go deeper beyond the shallow part of this history. Okay. Okay, first, what is Cavite? Is this a place or this is a term? Okay, Cavite. Cavite got its name from a Tagalog word, kawit, which means hook. So therefore, pangalan nito dati ay kinuha sa pangalan ng kawit. Plus, ah, ang pangalan nito dati ay Cavite. Cavite. Then, from that Cavite, naging Cavite. Yes, kasi na-mispronounce ng mga Spaniard. There is no letter V in the Spaniard alphabet. So, from Cavite, naging Cavite. And there's no letter W in the, yes, in their alphabet. Owing to the hook-shaped land in the Old Spanish map, the land was formerly known as Tangway, where Spanish authorities constructed a fort from which the city of Cavite rose. It is named as the historical capital of the Philippines. It is the cradle of the Philippine Revolution and the birthplace of Philippine independence. It is a province of the Philippines located on the northern shore of Manila Bay in Calabarzon. So, what would be the reason? At sinabi na it is a cradle of Philippine Revolution and the birthplace of Philippine independence. Why? Well, simply because in Cavite, there's an event kung saan na-witness ng mga ating mga batang bayani yung event na yun. And later on, they're burning passionate nights to somehow make a revolution. Ano kayang event yun? And also, in Cavite, diba? Diyan ang ating Declaration of Independence. Okay? And it is located in the southern shore of Manila Bay, in the Calabarzon. Calabarzon means Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, Rizal, Quezon. Okay? So the Cavite Mutiny, or the Kumbursa, the three priests in black Cossacks bound in monocles, escorted by Spanish friars, guards, and drummers, appeared at the gate in the walled city. They were the condemned men, Father Burgos, Gomez, and Zamora, have been sentenced to death for sedition against the Spanish crown and were to be executed by garrote, the most dreaded form of execution, strangulation by a cast iron vise tightened around their neck. So, garrote, it's a kind of execution piece or execution material kung saan, or execution machine siya, no? Kung saan, may pabilog. Tapos ilalagay dun yung leeg ng tao. Tapos merong iikutin, pipihitin, at yung bilog na yun humihigpit. Tapos, kapag pinihit mo ng pinihit ng pinihit, humigpit ng humigpit, syempre, yung leeg mapuputol. So, little by little, mamamatay na. Ganun yun. Karote. Mamamatay hanggang mahiwalay yung leeg mo sa ulo. Okay? So, what would that happen? Bakit nangyari yung event na yun? Ano kayang meron? So because there is a secular movement or secularization, what does it mean? It is a movement where yung mga dayuhan, simplify na natin, yung mga dayuhan ng mga pare is papaalisin sa Pilipinas, pupunta sila sa Spaniard, babalik sila sa Spain. Ang secularization, ang movement na yan is it promotes na dapat ang mga Pilipinong pare ang mamahala sa simbahan. Why? Kasi during the Spanish Empire here in the Philippines, ang mga pare, they hold absolute power. Sila ay mapang-api. Sila ay mapang-abuso. So, well, to support that idea, let's review the novel of Jose Rizal, the Noli Me Tangere. Diba? Ano ba yung pinapatamaan dun ni Jose Rizal? Yes, mga pare. Pinakita niya na masama yung mga pare. Si, sino ba yung sino ba yung nanakit sa dalawang magkapatid na si Basilio? Si Crispin, o pare. O, diba? Hmm. Sino ba yung rapist doon sa nobela ni Jose Rizal? Pare. Diba? Pare si Padre Damaso, ni-rape niya si Pia Alba na naging tatay ni Maria Clara. Diba? Pare. O, sino ba yung nangkamkam ng lupa? O, pare. Diba? So, from that, it reflects na during na panahon ng Espanyol, pare holds the, yes, absolute authority than Governor General itself. Kasi nga ang idea noon, pag nilabag mo ang pare, nilabag mo rin daw ang Diyos. Diba? Yes. So kapag nilabag mo ang pare, hindi ka pupunta ng langit kasi hindi ka nila, oo, hindi nila babautismo yung ano mo, yung death mo. What we call the thing is, you know what, kapag namamatay yung tao, di ba may basbas ng pare, minimisa. O yung gawain kasi ng mga Spanish nun, yung mga paring Espanyol. Kapag you went against the church, pag namatay ka, hindi ka babasbasan, hindi ka pupunta ng langit. Okay. There were secular native priests, parish priests who did not belong to any of the religious order like the Dominican, Franciscan, etc., but serving the diocese directly under the Pope in Rome. They presented the bitter design cause of natives claiming parishes for themselves for secularization, yes, opposed by all powerful friars, order who maintained the Filipinos were capable only of being both men or pianists, but should not think that because they could mumble Latin prayers they could now aspire to run whole parishes. So secularization is the activity of changing something or automatic pressure society or morality generation. It's no longer under the control of influence or religion. So yun yung secularization. They want to change something. Gusto na nilang tanggalin yung mga paring mga Espanyol at bumalik ah, sa sa Spain. Well, the leader of that is si Father Pedro Pelaez. However, namatay siya sa linggo. And yes, kaya ang sumunod na naging leader is si Jose Burgos. Yes. So, from that, no, nagalit yung mga pare, nagalit yung mga dayuhang pare. So, gumawa sila ng action in order to take out or to execute these three priests. Yes. The first priest, ito, yes, si Father Mariano Gomez. Yes. First to send the gallows was Father Mariano Whitehair, the visibly aged. Yes, he was 72 years old. An Indio of Chinese or Japanese descent to have been a popular parish person before David perfectly reconciled. He spoke briefly, "Thy will be done." And next is si Father Jacinto Zamora, a Spanish mestizo, Manileño, a classmate of Letran and Santo Tomas of the Main Faithful, Father Jose Burgos. And also, uh, he's a friend also of the Jose Rizal elder brother, which is Pasiano. Kaya nabalitaan din ni Jose Rizal yung nangyaring event despite of the fact na wala siya sa, wala siya sa execution phase. Kaya at the very young age of Jose Rizal, nabalitaan niya 'to. Yes. Mm. That's why ito yung naging motivation niya din sa pagsulat ng No Limit Tangere. Yes. So, yes, okay, Father Jose Burgos, 35, a handsome Creole born in Vigan, of Spanish parent ascendant class. He was the recognized leader of the secularization. Mhm. So, yeah, yes. Burgos has called this faction Hijos del País, the original concept which is decades later became Bonifacios Anak ng Bayan. So according to this PowerPoint, Hijos del País, which means the translation of that is Anak ng Bayan. Which is ginamit ni as Bonifacio. The usual tradition shares from the Spanish soldiers and dignitaries of that. As Father Burgos expired, Viva España, Viva España, and Pilipinas. So, yes, in the mid-19th century, Philippines, the balance of power between the Spanish and the native has changed. Bakit nagkaroon ng pagbabago in the mid-19th century? What would happen? Aside from that moment na unti-unti na nakakawala yung mga colonies ng Spain, example of that is the Cuba. Yes, yes, kasi that time, at the edge of before at the mid of 19th century, nagkaroon ng access ang mga Pilipino sa Europe. In a way. In what way? Oh, sa pagbukas ng Suez Canal. So, anong klaseng kanal to? Or what is Suez Canal? Suez Canal is a man-made canal kung saan mas napapadali yung ruta papuntang Espanya. Mhm. So, by this moment, yung mga mayamang Pilipino, the Peninsulares, or I mean rather is the Ilustrados, the Principalia. Ilustrados yung tawag sa anak ng mga prinsipalya na nakapag-aral abroad. Prinsipalya ang tawag sa mga Pilipinong mayaman. Okay? Tawag sa Pilipinong mayaman during that time, prinsipalya. Hmm. Ngayon itong mga prinsipalya, pinapadala nila yung mga anak nila sa sa Spain para dun mag-aral. Yes. And by that, because may mga Pilipino ang nakakapag-aral sa Europe, nakikita nila yung buhay dun. Nakikita nila how free the people in Europe. Nakikita nila kung paano dapat mabuhay ang tao sa Europe. Dapat hindi inaalipin, may karapatan, may dangal. Yes. At nakikita nila yung liberty sa Europe. Yung kalayaan, yung kasarian. And they dream na somehow, someday, dapat maranasan to ng mga Pilipino. Okay. And because of that, itong mga ilustrados natin like Jose Rizal, Mariano Gorsay, Marcelo H. Del Pilar, they dream na maging province tayo ng Spain. They dream for reformation. So, di talaga nila pinangarap na lumaya tayo sa Espanya. Lumaya sa pagkaalipin by reformation. At doesn't mean dapat daw pantay ang pagtingin sa atin ng Spain at pantay ang pagtingin sa mga Espanyol at Pilipino ng Espanya. So, hindi yun nangyari. So, that is the Suez Canal. Nagkaroon ng easier route papuntang Europe kung saan nakapag-aral ang mga mga Pilipinong ilustrado. Ilustrado ang tawag sa mga Pilipino na nakapag-aral abroad. Si Andres Bonifacio, ilustrado pa siya? Hindi, kasi di naman siya nakapag-aral sa ibang bansa. Well, lumalabas to sa board exam. Tinatanong kung ilustrado pa si Andres Bonifacio. Well, the answer is not. The exact identities of all the victims of the mass arrest and executed after 1870 are nowhere obtainable. Either historian call the period of repression. No other attempts at armed resistance or organized protests took place between 1872 and 1896. All possible leader has been killed off or exiled. Okay. So, nangyaring Cavite Mutiny. Walang ibang nahuli. Walang umamin. Walang ganyan. Yes. Well, another account, meron daw kasing witness na nagpapatunay na yung tatlong paring martir mismo yung leader ng Cavite Mutiny. Ano ba yung Cavite Mutiny? Isa yung rebellion. Nagkaroon ng rebellion. O ninais daw ng mga nagkaroon ng rebellion, pinamunuan daw ng tatlong paring martir. Yung goal daw ng rebellion is to kill the Governor General. Yes. However, walang enough evidence. Walang nangyaring investigation. Walang nangyaring process or a proper method of law. Walang nangyaring ganun. So, kaya tinatawag na tatlong paring martir kasi hindi pa naman napapatunayan na may kasalanan sila o wala or therefore they are innocent, wala silang kasalanan kasi person is innocent until proven by the law. So kung di pa napapatunayan ng batas, therefore innocent. So tinatawag silang tatlong paring martir, mga innocent na sila. So they accept their fate to be killed at the execution place. Yes. Pero sa testament kasi nung Governor General, sa testament nung Governor General, ganyan, ng kalaban ng Gumburza, merong witness, si Francisco Saldoa. Pero you know what guys, itong witness na to, nauna pang na-execute kaysa sa tatlong paring martir. Okay. I do remember something. Bago kasi nangyari ito, nagkaroon tayo ng mabuting Governor General. To see, De La Torres. De La Torres yung Governor General bago nangyari ito. Mapait siya, no? Get together, get along siya ng mga Pilipino. Parang kabanding ng mga Pilipino. So, itong mga pare, parang nainis sila. Itong mga pare, kasi natakot sila baka naman mapatapon talaga sila sa Espanya, mabalik sila sa Espanya. So, sabi nila, nagsumbong sila sa hari ng Spain na, itong si De La Torre, ganyan, masyado siyang vibe sa mga ganyan-ganyan, sa mga Pilipino. Ganon. kailangan, you should do something. Yes, para baka kasi mag-ano sila, maglunsad sila ng rebellion. Yes. Like what I've said guys 'no, mas makapangyarihan ang church kaysa sa government in their time. Kasi nga bawal mong kalabanin ang simbahan, 'pag kinalaban mo ang simbahan, kalaban mo ang Diyos. During their time, kaya itong hari ng Espanya, pinatanggal si De La Torre. Oo, ang pumalit sa kanya is si Rafael Izquierdo. Itong si Rafael Izquierdo, oo, masama, wicked na Governor General at pag-uusapan natin siya mamaya. So, yes. In 1872, kung kailan nangyari yung Cavite Mutiny, Rizal was 11. 11 years old si Rizal. So, may utak na siya that time. Nung nalaman niya nga yung naging motivation niya. Tapos, Bonifacio was 7, Mabini is 8, and Aguinaldo 3. So, you know what guys? Nung si Rizal was 11, nangyari yung Cavite Mutiny, nagkaroon din sila ng mga problem sa Spanish government. Nakamkam yung lupa nila Rizal. Kaya ni-reflect niya din yun sa Noli Me Tangere. Kung saan, yes, kamkam din yung lupa. May isang character dun na nakamkam yung lupa. Which reflects sa nangyari sa kanila. And also, si Rizal din during that time, yung mother niya is naka-experience ng improper treatment of Spanish law. Yung wala namang kasalanan yung mother niya pero nakulong. Pinalakad sa buong Laguna. Imagine that. So, if you had any historical sense, the resemblance of the 17th of February 1872 would be as big as Festa as Rizal Day. Burgos, Gomez, and Zamora were the voices crying in the wilderness, preparing the way for Rizal and his generation and all the others who came after them. They were the prosecutors of all the Filipino nation. So, sabi nga nila, kung walang Gumburza, walang Rizal. Kung walang Rizal, walang Bonifacio. Kung walang Bonifacio, walang Aguinaldo. Kung walang Aguinaldo, walang Mabini. Why? Kasi kung walang Gumburza, hindi magsulat si Rizal. Kung hindi magsulat si Rizal, hindi mamomotivate si Bonifacio. Hindi siya gagawa ng KKK. Ano bang reason kung bakit may KKK? KKK is a product of produkto ng pagkahuli kay Rizal. Ginawa yung KKK para tulungan si Rizal, palayain si Rizal. Kasi nung nahuli si Rizal, sabi nila, okay, it's enough. Hindi na magiging matagumpay ang peaceful revolution. Hindi na magiging matagumpay ang pagsulat. Kailangan natin gumamit ng dahas. Yun yung mindset ni Bonifacio at maraming naniwala sa kanya. Kasi before KKK, okay, before KKK, La Liga Filipina muna. Member si Bonifacio ng La Liga Filipina kaso it doesn't last long. Then, yung La Liga Filipina naging KKK. Okay. Then, because sa Bonifacio, nagkaroon ng Aguinaldo. Nagsama si Bonifacio at Aguinaldo. Sa Aguinaldo, na-recruit sa KKK. Nung naging presidente na si Aguinaldo, ni-recruit niya si Mabini as kanyang tagapayo or prime minister. So, ito yung mga issues sa Cavite meeting. Sa account ni Jose Montero Vidal, the soldiers wanted to assassinate their officer, their masters, and the escort of Capitan General at Malacanang and dispose the Governor General. the rebel will start the revolution about upon the firing of the rocket from the walls of the city. So yung Cavite Mutiny daw ay isang pag-aalsa kung saan gusto daw patayin ng mga Pilipino yung master and also the Governor General sa Malacanang. And yung signal daw, ang signal daw ng rebellion is firing from the rocket from the walls of the city. So pag may nakita na daw silang lumilipad na rocket, ganyan, start na ng revolution. Well, na-misunderstood nila tong rocket kasi may katabi palang piyesta. Oo, may katabing piyesta. So, yes, ito pang account ni Jose Montero Vidal. 1872, the revolt started the mutiny, the assault headed by, yes, January 22, 1872, the revolt started the mutiny, the assault headed by Felipe Hinoves. In January 22, the rebellion failed because the people of Cavite mistook the firework in the fiesta in Sampaloc, Manila as the start of the revolution. So therefore, akala daw ng mga na magre-rebellion, ng mga Pilipino magre-rebellion na yun na yung signal. Nakita nila yung signal, oh yan, may putukan na, oh, may fireworks na, yan na yung signal. So sumugod daw sila. Sumugod sila. Yung pala, yun yung signal. Putok lang pala yun kasi may fiesta. Diba? Putok lang yun kasi may fiesta. So, natalo sila. Kasi hindi tayo yung signal. Sa account naman ni Rafael Izquierdo, which is the Governor General, the native clergy encouraged the Indios to join the revolution because God was with them. Sabi daw, sabi ni Governor General, itong tatlong paring martir na to, hinikayat niya yung mga Indio, yung mga Pilipino na magrebellion kasi sabi nila, sasamahan sila ng Diyos. Yung Diyos daw ay nasa kanila. Kaya mananalo sila. The rebels made the signal agreed upon by means of lantern, but the native civilians were called. Although they tried, it failed because of the vigilance of the Spanish Navy. So, and at least there's a gunboat and armed vessel. So, sabi naman dito, yung signal daw is lanterns. Lanterns. Pag nakita na daw yung lanterns, sugod na daw yung mga Indios. Kasi daw, hindi sila nagtagumpay kasi prepared daw yung mga Spanish. Kasi meron daw mga gunboats and armed vessels na humadlang sa kanila. Sabi ni Rafael Izquierdo, kinonvince ng mga pare yung mga Pilipinong mag-rebellion. Kasi sabi, kasama natin ang Diyos. Tapos yung signal is lantern. And it failed because of the weapons of the Spaniard. Okay, sa account naman ni Dr. Trinidad Pagdadita Vera, few soldiers participated the attack. No further disturbance on peace or insubordination in any kind. The uprising aiming soldier in Cavite was used as a powerful lever by the Spaniard and by the friars. So therefore, in other terms, the account of Dr. Trinidad tells that the Cavite Mutiny is just palabas lang para mapagbintangan yung tatlong paring martir. Para mamatay sila. Kasi nga, frame up lang ba? Yes, para ma-demolish sila, mawala yung secularization. At pag nawala yung secularization, hindi matatanggal yung paring Spanish. So, as you can see, ang daming mga claims, pero itong dalawa, itong si Montero Vidal at Rafael Izquierdo, may pagkakahawig. Well, at the same time, mali naman yung kanilang signal. Yung isa paputok, yung isa lantern. Ang sabi naman ni, Tita Vera, wala naman nangyaring ano, may konting ano lang, may mga ilang sundalo lang yung ta's wala namang nangyaring kaguluhan. Parang pinalabas lang na may kaaway kahit wala naman. Hmm, yes. And because of that, imagine that, yung mga Pilipino kasing tatlong pari na yan, they are doing something to somehow eradicate the wicked priest. Yes. To soothe the pain or yes, to soothe the pain from the Filipino people para mawala yung mga pang-abusong mga paring Espanyol. Kaso nga, kita ng mga Pilipino na sila yung lumalaban. However, pinatay pa sila. Without any evidence. 'Di ba? Nangyayari pa rin ba yan ngayon? So, papatayin na lang kahit wala pang ebidensya. Sus, 'di ba? Well, because of that, na-realize ng mga Pilipino na yes, may nangyayari di maganda at kailangan lumaban. Wow. Si Rizal na-realize niyang lumaban, pinili niyang lumaban gamit ang report, pagsulat. Dahil si Bonifacio naman by weapon, by armed struggle sa pamamagitan ng ahas. So, yes. And also itong si Rafael Squerto meron siyang witness merong witness si Rafael Escuerdo, si Francisco Saldoa. Kaso nga si Francisco Saldoa na witness niya, oo, madaling araw pa lang, pinatay niya na Tegi. Yes. Maybe para ano, para hindi niya na mabago yung sinabi niya. Siyempre para rin walang butas sa kanilang gagawing, oo, frame up. So, yes, importance of the Cavite Mutiny in Philippines. Many believe that the Cavite Mutiny of 1872 was the beginning of Filipino nationalism and eventually led to the Philippine Revolution of 1896. Kasi nga, 1872, the event of that is the motivation of Rizal to write the Noli Me Tangere. And the Noli Me Tangere is the motivation of Andres Bonifacio to start the KKK. And also the KKK is the reason why there's a revolution and that revolution lead to 1896 Declaration of Philippine Independence. Pero hindi na si Bonifacio yung leader noon kundi si Aguinaldo kasi nagkaroon ng dalawang faction. Okay, thank you. That concludes our discussion. Bye-bye.